Welcome to Talk of the Town. I am your host, Abby on the Avenue, and Marketing Director for Appleton Downtown Incorporated. Talk of the Town is a podcast where we shine a spotlight on the people, places, and passion in our community. Each episode, we engage in meaningful conversations with community ambassadors and local business owners as they share their stories and what makes our district thrive. Whether you're a history buff, foodie, music lover, or something in between, there's something here for everyone. Join us as we uncover the stories of what makes Downtown Appleton one great place. Today, I am excited to welcome Bill Wetzel, the owner of ACOCA Cafe Roastery. Welcome, Bill, to the podcast.
Well, thank you, Abby.
So excited.
I'm so happy to be here. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited too.
So excited to have you on the episode today. So we are here to talk about ACOCA Coffee. So tell us a little bit first about yourself. You know, where are you from? How did you get into this business? Just a little bit of your background.
Yeah, I have a kind of a funny winding way to restaurateurship. I was an engineer coming out of college, a mechanical engineer, and I spent 10 years learning that I really wasn't a very good engineer and that I needed to segue into something that was more natural to who I was, and that was more into sales and marketing because I love to interact with people. And concurrent with all that, I had a great interest in cooking, always have. I cooked breakfast for my sisters, even though I was the middle child. You know, I took on that role and enjoyed it, and I think they did too. Yeah, I'm not sure they'd concur. But then spent time as the commissar of our fraternity and just have always enjoyed the camaraderie and fellowship that comes with a meal and being with people during a meal. And so it was always in my head, gosh, someday I'd love to own a restaurant. That's really what I would like to do. And lo and behold, we almost bought a restaurant, my wife and I, in Birmingham, Alabama, where we were living at the time. And then we came up, thankfully, we came up pregnant with our son. And I did not have the chutzpah to go forward with buying a restaurant and taking on sole income responsibility and insurance responsibility. So that chapter of our life kind of ended, and we embarked on our family life and my corporate career and my wife's corporate career. And, lo and behold, moving forward, I still kind of had an inkling that I still want to do this. It gave me so much enjoyment, gives me so much enjoyment to watch people enjoy time together, the fellowship and the camaraderie that comes with sharing a meal. It's so universal, right? So in 2007, a young couple had asked if we wanted to buy their coffee shop. At the time, it was called Coffee Haus. And I was thinking I was still on the up escalator at work and couldn't really devote the kind of time to really having a restaurant and be an owner in a restaurant at that time. But we agreed that we would financially invest. And that happened all the way through 2015. And at that time, I felt like my corporate heart was getting smaller, and the corporate constriction of life in the corporate world was shrinking my heart to Grinch size. And so we talked about it, and we ended up buying them out at the end of December of 2015. I retired from my corporate job in August of 16, and we started to look at how can we buy the buildings on the east end of the 500 block. And eventually did a couple years down the line, and then started planning for really a long-held dream of mine is to have a restaurant. I really didn't. It's pretty funny. I didn't even drink coffee growing up.
Wow.
I know. It's a funny thing today when I look back on it. But I love the aroma. My mom would
it's the best.
Yeah, would crack that Maxwell House tin can with the pop top kind of thing, a big 10-gallon can. And it was a great smell, but I always thought the taste just didn't appeal to me, and didn't even upon embarking on this partnership for a time in 2007 with the young couple that had Beaner's Coffee House. At that time, though, I said, gosh, I better learn something about this business that we're sort of involved in.
Yeah.
So I started to drink coffee, and like so many things in life, once you become aware of it and you start to explore it and get deeper into it, you gain an awareness that helps you have such a higher level of appreciation, both in terms of what it takes to bring that product to market, and then just what it challenges your own, in this case, my own palate, to start
absolutely.
to appreciate the flavor of coffee and the nuance of coffee that exists. Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
Yes, absolutely.
So there we were, starting to plan with these buildings on the 500 block West College, 500 east end of 500 West College.
Yes.
And then the pandemic hit, but it was a great time to be under construction. And
absolutely,
at that point, man, there we were all of a sudden, December 30th of 2020, with a restaurant with a full kitchen, and still coffee is our foundation.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just a great story of, a dream that, like you said, was always deeply rooted and something that you knew you would come back to right away, but the time wasn't right, but something that you kind of dreamt about and eventually, found the space right here in downtown Appleton, which is great.
Yeah, it's incredible. Just being here was incredible good fortune. I often joke, and I hope if Kim listens to this, she'll laugh. I'm tearing up about it. But it's true, is that I joke, excuse me, I joke that my greatest sale ever was getting her to come back here the second time. We moved here once, and then we moved away very quickly, and then we were asked to come back. And
That's amazing.
It's been such a great place for us as a couple, and for our family, and our kids think of themselves as Badgers, and it's just such a great place. We joke, one great place. That's our tagline. It's not a joke, because it's real. It's real. The people here are real. That upper Midwest nice is just so powerful. You know?
Hard to beat, for sure.
It is. I love it.
Well, thank you, Kim. Shout out to you. We owe it all to you.
Trust me. Yeah. It wouldn't have happened if she wasn't there to be there along the entire journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talked about your location. You're down, and that, like you said, on the west end on the 500 block there on the corner, big red building for all of you. You'll see it when you're coming down the avenue, right across from the Performing Arts Center, which is great. So talk a little bit more about, you talked about your construction. I know you underwent a big expansion, with ACOCA. What, went into that as you were thinking about the future of the business?
Yeah. Well, we really wanted to go beyond just coffee. And the coffee, as I noted earlier, is the foundation of the business. We roast our own, longest running roaster in downtown Appleton, as far as I know. And we wanted to use that as a springboard into food. And part of what we do on the coffee side, before we ever thought about ownership or expansion, the young couple that started Beaner's Coffee Haus, they went all in on fair trade organic and doing pour overs, and we wanted to maintain that ethos and stick with something that I thought was really powerful that they established well ahead of their time. It's pretty incredible, really, what they were doing back in the late 90s in this area as it related to coffee. So once we bought the business and then also talked about expansion, we wanted to kind of still be true to that. And so we still have the same roaster they were using, just moved it to a different location in the building. And we still have a master roaster. I know how to roast. There's a couple others on the team that know how to roast. So coffee is still very intrinsic to what we do. And we sell retail bags of coffee, wholesale bags of coffee, wholesale to restaurants in the area and so forth. But the expansion, which tripled our size, was really all about putting in a full-scale kitchen and developing the food side of what has become the restaurant. And so, just as a point of clarification, we are starting to rebrand as ACOCA Cafe and Roastery to try and emphasize the cafe side of what the business is all about, and still paying homage to our past and the roasting side. We're still roasting. Well, we expect to continue to roast for a long time to come. But the expansion was really more about putting in a full-scale kitchen so that we could do whatever we wanted to do at any time of the day. And so today we're serving breakfast and lunch. Maybe someday we're going to do small plates in the evening. Who knows? But it was about trying to get to the food side of the business, which was, as we were talking earlier, was more my passion. Not being a coffee guy, I was really all about the food.
Yeah, and it's great, like you said, that you continued with that legacy and the true, that started with that building and that business, but also blended it in with your dream as well. So it's cool to hear how you're kind of mixing best of those, the best of both worlds with that. And I could speak personally too. The coffee's fantastic. The food is amazing. Just
thank you.
The great fresh local ingredients. I always talk to you about how the granola is my favorite. So everybody check it out. It's fantastic. Bill's recipe. It's the best granola ever. Just a lot of great things that you're offering. And I know that you partner with us a lot and participate in a lot of our events, our Death by Chocolate Walk, our Cafe Walk, Soup Walk, the Treat Walk is part of Light Up Appleton. Yeah. So many different things. How important are, your representation and partnering with us in those events to, what you're doing?
Yeah. I think, Abby, that's, first of all, thank you for the comments about the food. Really appreciate it. And
it's true.
I do encourage everybody to come down, try that granola. I think if you are wanting to be an integral part of a community, then you have to participate in what the community does. And people can do that in a myriad of ways. For us, it's, as a business, it's through all the great activities that Appleton Downtown Inc. has established. I can think back to living here when we moved back the second time. The farmers market was in the parking lot of Apollon.
Yes.
And to see it today, it's just extraordinary. Hats off to Jen.
30 years.
Yeah, and everybody else that kind of has managed that to the state that it is today, because it is an exceptional event. And it's an event that brings people downtown together. All age ranges, all demographics. It is bringing people together, and I think that's what the events do.
Yes.
And I think that's why they're important for us as a business to try and participate and support them, because if you want the community to feel like a community, you need to participate in the community activities.
Yes. Yeah. And like you said, it's a great way for all of you to come together and for us to showcase the amazing things that you're doing. And the reason I mentioned some of those walks is what I love about what you do when you participate in some of them is, the heart and the thought that you put behind the samples that you're going to provide for the, more food leaning, events that you participate in, and just how much fun that you have with that. And I always appreciate that. And it's always great things that you provide, and people always, it helps them to get a taste of what you have to offer at your business, and truly just a nod to the culinary background that you have. So something that a lot of people might not know. And I know that you talk about too, how you lean into your team and ask them, what should we serve for this? The ideas that you come up with and things like that. So I also love how you engage with them and just truly the thought and heart that you put behind it for each and every one. And it shows really greatly. So,
oh, yeah. Well, thank you for that. I think that you mentioned the team, and that is really the heart and soul of the business. I mean, we have great coffee, fresh roasted. We have great food, local ingredients where we can, and all that can provide is a great drink and a great bite to eat. But the missing, if we weren't to do this, the missing component would be the people element. And we've expanded, tripled our size to try and bring people together again post-pandemic. That's not been easy. And I think it's not led to a cohesive community feel. So we're trying to encourage people to come down, find a positive experience when they walk through our door. And that's what they will find, because the team is geared to do that. That's what they know is mission one when they walk through the door to come to work, is to provide our customer base with a positive experience. And so that starts with each individual. We talk about it at team meetings. You wake up in the morning, you have a choice whether your day is going to be good or bad, right? Everybody has that choice. And if you can start with it's going to be a good day, get your head around that and moving forward in that fashion, then everything will fall into place.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's the people side of it for us. That warm smile when they come to the counter, drop off your food or your drink at your table. Sometimes it's all it takes to turn somebody's tough day into a better day or a great day.
Absolutely.
And we really strive and work hard to do that on a day in and day out basis.
Yeah. Your team is fantastic. They're always super friendly, super welcoming. I know that it's very important for you to provide a very safe environment for anybody that comes in. So if you want to touch a little bit on some of I know you mentioned this earlier, the resources and things as part of the foundation of the business, not only for your employees, but your guests, to ensure that they know that, everybody is welcome.
Yeah, we really try and make a point of that, demonstrating that, Abby. Everybody's welcome, doesn't matter background, religious beliefs, skin color, you choose your gender. It's okay. You get that choice. And when you're there, we're trying to do everything we can to, if somebody has an issue, God forbid, we haven't had to use it yet, but we have the AED unit. We, again, thankfully have not had to use it, but we have the Narcan there at the ready, just in case, just trying to be preventive or be out ahead of any sort of emergency.
Yes. And
we're thankful for the APD. They're a block away, and they are a great group of individuals and very, very responsive. If we've ever needed that, thankfully, that's been a very, very rare instance.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's something that people often take for granted, is that feeling of walking into a space and feeling safe, feeling accepted. That's unfortunately something in our world today that doesn't always come as easily maybe as it used to. So I think it's important to call it out when places are definitely taking that effort consciously every day to make sure that no matter what, every guest is welcomed.
Yeah. That's a great point. You're right. I don't think it comes as easily today as it did in the past, I'll say. Yeah.
So going back a little bit, I know you mentioned, the participation in the community and how that's, integral to your business. Something I know that you guys do specifically is you partner with a lot of downtown businesses to feature your products within, what they're doing. Like I know you've partnered with Appleton Beer Factory before and, Cleo's to do, I think it was espresso martinis I saw or something like that. Talk about how you kind of, work to partner with other businesses downtown, because I think something that people think is, it's all competition to see, like, well, I want somebody to come here. So it feels like that. But really, when I see you all come together, and that's one of the greatest privileges I have in this job of all of you, all the business owners, managers coming together, is the support that you have for one another, the resources that you use together, the conversations that you have, the collaborations that you do. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and, how you're doing that with ACOCA.
Yeah, sure. I feel that, and I think you would find this similar response, I'll say, from most any of the other business owners, is that all boats rise in a rising tide. And if we can all work together to make the experience downtown better for everyone who visits, then that's just going to drive greater downtown attendance, more people coming into town and experiencing great things that, as you noted earlier, could be the espresso martini at Cleo's. Fantastic, and it's local, and that's what I think I like about it too, is it's hyper local, because we're only talking blocks away from these locations. Same thing with ABF and McFleshman's, and we've done some great collaborations with Stone Arch when it comes to coffee and beers, which is a great combination, by the way.
Yes.
And if I may say so myself, I'm a little biased, but. And I think I think everybody recognizes that if we provide great experiences to visitors who come into downtown, regardless of how it plays out, everyone will do better for it. And it's kind of all for one for all kind of mentality, which I think is I'll say I wasn't as involved in businesses like this in a small town, but I'd say it feels pretty unique. I feel like Appleton and the people of Appleton and the business owners of Appleton are very unique in the sense that they do recognize working together is better for everybody.
Yes.
And that it's not necessarily about competition and knocking down the other person. It's about lifting everybody's opportunities up, because then that'll just make it a more desirable visitor destination.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just great to see how everyone collaborates with one another and truly wants to see everyone's businesses thrive. And, within the last couple of years, we've really seen a huge increase in the number of coffee shops that are downtown. You guys have been a cornerstone of it for a very long time, but there are some that, even within the last year that have, come to downtown. And we've heard comments before about, oh, you have so many coffee shops, are you worried about this or this? And I always say no, because I know that number one, you guys all want to support one another at the end of the day, and everyone has their own niche, their own story, their own products, their own coffee, many different things. So even coming down to that level of, comparison of coffee shop to coffee shop, the tremendous amount of, respect, but also individuality between, each and every one of you is extraordinary.
Yeah, I think you said it very well, Abby. What is that everybody kind of has their own niche, if you will. And if we get more people coming downtown, then everybody's niche will get filled out.
Exactly. And it helps make downtown a destination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like it.
Absolutely. Something else I wanted to touch on as we're talking about collaboration here is I know that you have some space in your business that you have kind of rotating for different artists. Like, you've had some different art forms, paintings, photographs, that type of thing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, the story, the inspiration behind that, and kind of how that program works.
Yeah. Well, and I called out the young couple. And they were young at that time, but I'm going to call out Angela and Roy Krieger, who were the owners that we partnered with in 2007 and then bought the business from in 2015. And like with many things at ACOCA Cafe and Roastery, we are really just following through with what Angela and Roy started. They had the artist's wall.
That's amazing. And this has been a long standing.
It has been. It's been around. I mean, as far as I know, I'll say at least a couple decades.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really neat. It was a great idea, and we just wanted to. I mean, why change a great idea, right? And it was something we just wanted to augment, maybe even a little more deeply. So the way we feature the artist today is very, very focused in the building, but it's been a beautiful. I don't want to call it a program. That sounds so corporate, but I guess it's been a beautiful thing to have as part of the cafe, because it rotates on a monthly basis, and we have such a wide array of art and how people convey their feelings that changes on that monthly basis. And then we end up buying a piece from each artist, and we have a whole nother wall that's the artist wall collection.
See, that's amazing. I didn't even know that.
It's a little bit of support for the artists themselves. Sometimes they do super well on their own, and I just want to make sure that happens and that we have something of them from their time on the wall. Yeah. It's really been fun and interesting, because the artists, as you can imagine, they're fun people too, interesting people. They have their own stories, and it's really neat to get to know them and what drives their passions as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is something that I talk about with a lot of our events, but it truly is amazing the amount of talent that we have in this community.
It's off the charts.
It is.
I agree. If it's art, it's music, it's the spoken word poetry. I mean, you can go down the list of art like things, and this community is unbelievable. The murals that we have throughout town, beautiful, just beautiful. And I think it brings then the some of the sayings and or poetry that's in the sidewalks. We have some really, really neat things that do make downtown and the flats area of the river as well just a wonderful spot to spend time. And it's time that can be spent with a wide range of ages, You can be with your grandparents. You can bring your children. You can, bring your contemporaries. Because there's something for everybody within that age range that you can do and see and feel and touch. So I think it's marvelous, but it is a bit of a marvel that it's all in this roughly the town size of 75,000 people, and we're just bursting with brilliant individuals.
Yeah. And we've heard stories, just within our organization of how much artists appreciate the opportunity that they get here, in the Valley, in Appleton specifically, of just, this is a perfect example of, you as a business owner, giving them the opportunity to showcase that art because, the town is booming with talent. And I'm sure as an artist, it's, challenging to get your name out there, get your work out there. So when we have events like that feature art, or we have, vendor opportunities or opportunities like you give them to showcase their talents, it's, something that I think is very common in our community. And, it's great that they're able to foster that creativity, and we're able to help them, share that.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think it kind of speaks to just that supportive of everyone and everything about our community. It's a wealth of art. Mm-hmm. So let's get it out there. Let's try and showcase it, because these individuals deserve that.
Yes.
And then it's people that are doing music, live music. We have such a tremendous potpourri of phenomenal, very talented individuals that do bring life to downtown, and we're thrilled just to have that opportunity to showcase some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and as we're nearing the end of our episode here, I really want to get into a little bit about you specifically, because you are very involved with, ADI, our organization. And, we're very fortunate for that as, a business owner, to take that next step, like you said, to not only engage with the community and what we're doing at a business level, but also on a personal level. You donate a lot of your time and resources to our organization, which we're, very grateful for. So just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I know you currently sit on our Business Improvement District Board.
Right.
You come to some of our committee meetings as well to kind of talk about, things going on. So just wanted to have you talk a little bit about that and how your involvement with those is, important for you, important for the business.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't do it without the support of my team. And that hats off to the entire team at ACOCA. The management team that we have is fantastic, and they allow me to be able to be involved in some of these other activities and not be so tethered to the business. And I think it harkens back to what we were speaking about earlier as it relates to community. It's just trying to be involved in the community you're in. And there's a lot of things going on in the world, a lot of troubling things. The dynamics are a challenge when you look externally. But for me, I'm not that big and bold. I want to focus on the here and now, what I can control and help contribute to controlling what happens right here in our area. And so if you're not involved, that doesn't happen. So I'm thrilled, lucky to be able to be involved in the ADI activities and a lot of the decision making that helps, kind of develop what we end up doing here in town to try and make it one great place, continue to make it one great place, I should say.
Yes. Yeah. And we're, very fortunate for all of the business owners and everybody that sits on our board, both of our, the ADI board and the bid board as well, and donates their time to helping us, make those big decisions. So it's important people know that a lot of the things that are going on downtown are, fueled and, thought about with the business owners that are, impacted the most about what we're doing. And, that's the why behind all of our events, behind everything we do, is to support the amazing business like yours downtown.
Yeah, that's great. And so appreciative for sure. I do think it is, and I don't think to you, maybe what you were alluding to a moment ago, a little bit, that the general public doesn't quite realize all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to get that word out. Marketing director there, I'm not sure. Abby on the Ave.
Yes.
I don't know how to make that happen, but I almost, in a way, though, at the same time, I say, well, just as long as people come downtown.
Yes.
We're thrilled to have visitors and people to come and appreciate the effort and energy that all the business owners in downtown put forth to try and make it a great destination, one great place, as they say.
Yes. See, and you just rolled into my next question. And I know that you've mentioned, quite a few things here, but just to really ride it home, in your opinion, what do you think makes Downtown Appleton one great place?
I think it's the sense of community. I think people feel it. And I think hats off to Mayor Hanna before, which is all I had exposure to, and Mayor Woodford now, and moving forward, setting the tone for a community that supports Appleton Downtown Inc. and that there's this cohesiveness with Appleton Downtown Inc. and the businesses in downtown, and a focus on trying to help improve what we can improve.
Yes.
And not worry about some of the other things external to us that are so, as we noted, are so challenging today. Stay focused, keep it local, jump in and get involved and do what you can to make a difference in your space. And if you have the bandwidth over time to go outside of that, hats off to you.
Yep.
But if you start local and keep it local, then we can really continue to improve and thrive. And I feel like it's all of that. It's that sense that starts at the top, at the mayor's level, and goes all the way through, I think, the city.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're very fortunate for everything they do over there, and just continuing to, foster that mentality of community and just how inviting it is down here. So yes, big shout out to them and all the support that they not only give us as an organization, but businesses like yours. So As we wrap things up here, what is one thing that you want someone to remember about ACOCA Cafe and Roastery after listening to this episode?
Yeah, that you're gonna be in a better headspace when you leave than when you came in the door. And if you need a spot to get a little respite, a little rest, a little rejuvenation, then we've got room for you.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bill, for coming on the episode. Again, this is Bill, the owner of ACOCA Cafe and Roastery. You can find him in downtown Appleton and the 500 block right across from the Performing Arts Center. They are on social media. You can find them online as well. Come on down for a great cup of coffee, delicious food, just to check out, one of the really great businesses. And a warm smile from all of their staff. So thank you so much again, Bill.
Oh, my pleasure, Abby. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and thank you to everyone for tuning in to Talk of the Town. We'll be back with more stories, more voices, and more reasons to love downtown Appleton. Until next time, keep your ears open. You might just be hearing the next Talk of the Town.